What's up, fight fans? And we are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am your host, Edwin. And where do all fights start? Round one. We got an amazing show for you today. We're going to be talking about some of the biggest fights, Naoya Inoue and Sam Goodman, and all these backstories that are coming out. You know, you got MJ Akhmadaliev coming into a fight now, and a lot of these stories, you know, about what's going on. And I just want to clear the way. So, if you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and stay with us. We're going to be breaking down these stories here at Round One Sports TV. How's everybody doing these holidays? I just got back from some holiday shopping of my own, and I gotta admit I had an amazing time. Wow, my title is still. I'm gonna have to go in and change that right now. Wow, what I mean. Excuse me for a second. I just gotta fix the title. It's obviously wrong. I'm having a problem with this system right now. I'm just gonna speed through this title then. Uh, what's up? Can you hear me loud and clear out there? All right. Looks good. That's better. So if you go see it later, you'll see that there's a different title. All right, so let's get right into this. All right. What's up? Silva? Silva? Jesse Man, my eyes are bad. I gotta get my eyes checked. Oh, I'm gonna have to blow up the side of this thing. I keep forgetting to do that so I can see these things because I got like 3 monitors and I got it compact like that small. But I gotta do it right now because I gotta show you guys some things. All right, listen, let's talk about this, right? Naoya Inoue, he's a Japanese fighter. He is currently the 122-pound undisputed champion of the world. And he's coming into a matchup in Japan right now against Sam Goodman. And a lot of spectators are talking about this fight, and some are even saying they don't want to see this fight and they never wanted this fight and this, that. And I'm going to clear the air on a few things. And Akhmadaliev, he's scheduled to fight now. And all this talk about him bringing Naoya Inoue to court because he's a number one. I'm going to clear all this. I just got off with my man. He was on Doc Boxing, and I was talking to him. And I kind of felt like he kind of shitted on me because he was talking out of content, right? And I wonder if I do this with you guys too. Like when I'm talking and then you answer something, do I answer your question and I fill in the blanks with what I think you're talking about? Because it kind of bothered me because he made it seem like I was saying that he makes up these rankings and everything. No, what he was saying was right. I never argued any of that. I was saying no, no, no on the way he was dressing up the story, and I just wanted to clear some things. Okay. First of all, before I break down the Naoya Inoue situation with Sam Good, no, first I feel like I should do that. We should start there. All right. Naoya Inoue is coming into a matchup against Sam Goodman, which Sam Goodman is an Australian fighter and he's also undefeated, right? He Naoya Inoue is fighting him for only one reason, because Sam Goodman is the number one ranked opponent in two of the sanctioning bodies, the IBF and the WBO. He's first in line. Here's the problem with Naoya Inoue's situation, and this is what I was trying to tell Doc Boxing, right? Because of the fact that he has all 4 belts. He doesn't have 1 belt. He doesn't have 2. He has all 4 belts, which means it's pretty to look at in the ring, but man, is it a nightmare to be that kind of champion. You got 4 mandatories and 4 obligations. Sometimes the organizations put you in a situation where it's almost virtually impossible for you to honor the mandatory. So throughout the years, they started making rule structure, and this is how it's set up. Whichever belt he won, as he was going along, there's a waiting list. Meaning, if the WBC, which is this belt right here, right? If the WBC number 1 ranked contender was in front of the IBF, the WBA, and the WBO, well, he would go first. And if you want to take it to court, he would take you to court and he's going to win because he would be considered first by the rules. The IBF can't jump over him. The WBA can't jump over him, and the WBO can't jump over him. There's a line, right? So what happened was Sam Goodman pulled out of a fight with Naoya Inoue and enters TJ Doheny. TJ Doheny was the number 2 ranked opponent, and Naoya Inoue beat him in a fill-in fight, which I felt if at any point MJ wanted to fight Naoya Inoue, why didn't he go in at that time? Why didn't he fight Naoya Inoue during the TJ Doheny fight? Then I went back and I did my research. He was, in fact, trying to fight him, right? That's when MJ's promoter started asking Bob Arum for outrageous things in the fight. Outrageous. I know I wasn't in the room, but I saw Bob Arum's comment, and he basically told Marlon Tapales' promoter and manager to go fuck themselves because they were talking like they were the A side. So whatever they did to piss Uncle Bob off, I guess only him and Bob, but I do know there was an argument, and Uncle Bob publicly came out and said he doesn't want to do any business with Marlon Tapales' manage and promoter team. He don't want to do business with him because they try to screw him over, right? They even try to take him to court, right? To try to come in front of Sam Goodman. Here's what happened. Even the courts decided this, that the WBA by the standard wasn't in front of the IBF or the WBO. They were first in line. So Sam Goodman has an official claim, not 1 time, but 2 times to Naoya Inoue. Marlon Tapales couldn't jump over the line. And Marlon Tapales' big claim to fame was, oh, I'm the number 1 ranked contender for the WBA. No, you're not. No, you're not. Homeboy, your record is right here. Let's look at Marlon Tapales' record. Right? This is Marlon. Oh, I got to screen share this shit. Okay, I'm going to do so. Peep game, guys. This, yo, if you let these guys tell it, they'll tell you whatever they want. But here at Round One Sports Talk, we just going to go grab the facts, right? Peep this. This, these dudes is crazy. This is Marlon Tapales' record. That's him. He's 12-9 with 1 loss, right? 1 loss. Who did he lose to? He's so damn good, right? Oh, shit. Marlon Tapales. When did he lose to Marlon Tapales? Right here. It says it right there. 2023, 8-4, right? He lost. Split decision, 12 rounds. He only fought 1 fight. You see it right there, Gonzalez, right? Look. He fought 1 fight, and this is his next scheduled fight, which he will be fighting on the 14th of this month. So if you just lost your belt and you fought a title eliminator, how the hell are you the number 1 and you got like dominant stat claim? If anything, you just became the number one. If the WB, because mind you, when he beats this guy, Kevin, right? They announced that fight as a what? A WBA title eliminator fight. That the winner of that fight would fight for the WBA, right? Where's his high claim for this remarkable status in the WBA that he's been chasing Naoya Inoue down for over years? Like Sam Goodman has been the number one for over a year. Bro, you mean to tell me you became the number one when? Right? So, okay, how the hell is he going to jump over Sam Goodman? He can't. That's what I'm saying, right? These people are talking like Sam Goodman is not worthy. Like he didn't earn, like he is the most qualified out of all the 122 pounders in the world right now. There is no 122 pounder more qualified than Sam Goodman. I dare anyone to prove me wrong. No one. No one can go in front of him. Nothing. He is for two. And they're both in line. Bing, bing. The WBA went to the back of the line. Akhmadaliev has no power. Him and his team knows it. A lot of this is clout chasing by him and his team. What they're saying in their claim, like I'm taking Naoya Inoue. Imagine that. You got to take a man to court to try to make him to fight you. What are you talking about? The fight before that one, you just lost your belt. It's not my fault you didn't fight in a year. That's your fault. That is your fault. So if you fought in between that time and you took a year layoff, what? Bro, you lost your belt and you had one fight. One fight. What? All of a sudden, Naoya Inoue, such a decorated champion. Yo, and Bob Arum is a motherfucker, right? Because Bob Arum, right? You know what he did, right? He already announced Naoya Inoue's next fight right after Sam Goodman in America. Because he wants him to fight what's his name? Picasso. He wants him to fight, but Picasso's an undefeated fighter. He's undefeated. When you take a man's you're already a defeated fighter and a beltless one at that. You're beltless and you've been beaten. And you only got 12 fights, MJ. So no matter what the consensus say by popularity belief, his resume doesn't award him that. It really doesn't. Bro, look at his record, man. How the hell are you going to sit there and tell me that a man with a 12-9 record, 12-1-9, he has 9 knockouts? Naoya Inoue got more knockouts with his record, knockouts and winning percentage combined. And he's only won one belt with a 2. He lost them, right? But in one division, I mean. He's only been one division. He's not like this fucking... He's not like this dominated champion that's been so battle-tested that we must get this fight with MJ. That's going to solidify Naoya Inoue's reign. MJ. Or he doesn't beat MJ, then he's not good. Bro, Naoya Inoue beat better opponents on the way to the fight than MJ. What are you talking about? Like, I don't even care about the fight. But the way that they're coming out, some people are explaining it. Listen, I wish they allow Akhmadaliev in the ring with Naoya Inoue. For one, I wish. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to see an amazing knockout. Naoya Inoue is going to knock him out cold. He is no threat to Naoya Inoue's reign. No. No, I don't. He's just a fighter. He has a chance just like any other fighter in the world. MJ Akhmadaliev is a good fighter. So he's got that. But is that going to make me look at him and say he's a real threat? Come on. No, he's not a real threat. I think Naoya Inoue has already beaten better fighters than him. As a matter of fact, didn't he beat the fighter that beat him for his belts? He only fought one fight since losing his belt. And all of a sudden, he's worthy. We should bend the knee to Akhmadaliev because he won one fight that was meaningless. It wasn't for no belt. What did it get you? The guy you beat was undefeated. Yeah. How high was he ranked? Was he the number 1 ranked opponent? No. No. So, like, he was number 2, though. At the time, I think. He was pretty high ranked, though. Yeah. Come to think about it. Yeah, I got to back up a little. But still, Akhmadaliev, like, one fight, bro. Come on, man. It's not like this dude, look, all this court shit might look good for the casual fan, right? But I can see bullshit. You don't got a pot to piss in and a leg to stand on, my man. Your claim is false. MJ, where are you going? They laughed you out of court, and the Sam Goodman fight is on as scheduled. You and your lawyer team tried to stop that fight, and you couldn't. Because the rankings in WBA stand wasn't holding up, was it? And now you went and pissed off Uncle Bob, and for whatever reason, now Uncle Bob just doesn't want to work with them dudes because after the Sam Goodman fight, Akhmadaliev has to be his number 1. He has to be. Akhmadaliev, because he's in the WBA, all they have to say is they backing him. And if the WBA rankings, right, man, let's go look at the WBA ranking. If the WBA ranking says he's number 1, then he's going to have to honor that. You see, and that's one thing I always said about Naoya Inoue. You see, a lot of these people are like, we didn't want to see the fight with TJ Doheny. We don't want to see the fight with Sam Goodman. But that's not what Naoya Inoue is doing. Naoya Inoue is fighting the next guy up, the next guy in line. If you earned your shot, just because you don't got a big name, he's going to fight you. What these other guys is spewing all over YouTube is, they want to see them fight bigger names. And then when Naoya Inoue gets criticized and back in his future for doing exactly that, Naoya Inoue, you didn't fight your mandatories. You didn't fight anybody in your division. You didn't clean out the division. You hear how they talk. So when he's doing exactly that, cleaning out the division, just because the number 1 guy is not who you want him to fight, guess what? He is the number 1 guy and the next man up. There hasn't been anybody except TJ Doheny because Sam Goodman put him in that situation. Ironically, I'm saying he should have fought MJ in between that time. And MJ's manager, if he really wanted a shot at that, he should have just took what Naoya Inoue offered him the first time. And they wouldn't have been going back and forth like that. You know what I'm saying? Remember them rumors? Oh, Naoya Inoue is going to fight Sam Goodman. Where? In Australia. And that Sam Goodman's promoting company said that he was going to go out. Naoya Inoue needed to fight Sam Goodman in Australia because Sam Goodman was the number 1 and 2 sanctioning bodies. And if Naoya Inoue was anybody, where's the fight happening at? Didn't I tell you guys that was bullshit? Some of these boxing promoters talk crazy. Like they got say, brother, Naoya Inoue made himself, you're going to have to go where he's at. He doesn't have to chase anyone anymore. Those days are over with. For him to Sam Goodman to sit there and his coach and his promoter to come out and tell you guys heard it. You guys remember that shit? That's what I'm talking about, Akhmadaliev. I don't give a fuck what his lawyer's doing. I don't give a fuck what his management said. A lot of that shit is just pure bullshit, and I've been around long enough to see right through it. No, there's a line, and Akhmadaliev shouldn't be able to jump over the line, and he shouldn't be looked over at all. If Akhmadaliev is next, Naoya Inoue needs to fight him. Bob, you guys need to fix this up, because all that shit, all that fake ass talk about Naoya Inoue not giving a fuck about a WBA title, and that he would even think about vacating a belt and having his name with an asterisk saying that he was either stripped or vacated. That is an ugly asterisk and a champion's legacy. You guys think that getting stripped or vacating belts, it goes by unnoticed? No, it doesn't. All that shit is addressed at the end of your career. That's why a lot of these boxers and motherfuckers keep talking like, oh, that's why Manny Pacquiao, when he goes, bro, he's not in the Hall of Fame. Manny Pacquiao's not in the Hall of Fame. And that's what I mean, man. Let these guys, yo, they say anything, bro. Any fucking thing, man. Yo, he never was worthy at that time. But when he comes around to the WBA ranking and he finally gets in line, then on that day, I can tell you, yeah, he's next man up. And Naoya Inoue's track, he always fights the next man up, no matter who he is. Don't worry, Naoya Inoue is going to help you out with that, with the vicious knockout that he's going to knock you out with. He's going to make you guys some money with that. And you're going to be famous because you're going on a knockout reel. At the end of his career, you'll be on the reel because that's what's going to happen. Listen, 28 men, 25 of them got knocked out. What the hell else tells me otherwise? 2 divisions, right? And if you want to keep it funky, I never bring this up. I never, ever, ever. And how many times I've ever talked about Naoya Inoue on my channel. And I'll tell you right now, if anybody can go back and look at any of my tapes and anybody found anything, I'll send you a Round One Sports Talk t-shirt for Christmas, right? I'm telling you right now, I've never brought this up because I was like, this is really unfair, because it would open everybody's eyes to where him and Terrence Crawford really separate from. It would really open everybody's eyes. So I never said this because I fucking love Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? And to me, still, he's number one until fucking whatever, man. You know, and I know sometimes I'll be biased at times, and you know, but I'll tell the truth. I know Naoya Inoue is number one, and he's pound for pound, baby, number one. I know he is. And what really separates him from like everybody else's records and shit? Yeah, Terrence Crawford got all 4 belts in 2 separate weight divisions. He was the first man to do so. That's a done deal. You can never take that away from him. All right? So, Naoya Inoue, technically, the truth, Naoya Inoue became 2-time undisputed, all 4 belts within 1 year. I've never publicly came out and said that, ever. I never released that statistic out of my mouth. You've never heard me say that. Not once. And I don't know if you realize what I just said. I've told you he unified the second 2 within 6 months. I've always brought that up because I thought that was enough. But the truth is, from the day he unified against Paul Butler, that's when the clock started ticking in actuality, because he didn't have all 4 until he beat Paul Butler. From the moment he beat Paul Butler, he fought Stephen Kubo Fulton and Marlon Tapales. That's all 4 in 2 separate weight divisions within 1 year. He crushed Terrence Crawford's achievement. He actually did all of that within 1 calendar year. And I never brought that up. It was there. Anybody could have looked it up. I just felt like the 6-month thing was crazy enough. I just left that alone. But technically, and when he retires, That's why I keep saying I always kept hinting around to that. Watch when he retires, guys. But I'm already getting tired. The cat's got to be out the bag and the truth got to be told. What it took you a lifetime to achieve, Terrence Crawford and Usyk, a lifetime. He did your entire accomplishment in 1 year. Yes. It was fucking crazy. And I was sitting back looking at it and I was like, God damn, bro. That's some fucking video game shit right there. I ain't never seen no man take complete all 4 belts in 2 separate weight divisions within 1 year. That's fucking ridiculous. He's actually fought 4 times in this past year. I know it's only been 3 times now, but if you actually look at the dates, it actually doesn't beat a calendar year. From his last fight, his last 4 fights have been actually within a year. Now the years have overlapped. Yeah, because there wasn't enough time in the year, right? But look at the dates of his fight. I'll put it up right now. Matter of fact, we could do that. Here, let me put it up right now. You know, talk is cheap, right? Here, I'm going to show you the dates. All right. Let me put his record. Okay. All right, hold on. I'm going to put it up right here. Bam, right? Okay. Naoya Inoue, 28 fights, 25 by knockouts. Obviously, no draws, no defeats, no interim titles, nothing but world champions throughout the world. In the world, there are 1,379 registered fighters at the 122-pound bantamweight, super bantamweight division. He is ranked number 1. Out of the 1,379 fighters, there are 171 Japanese registered fighters in that division. He is number 1. He has an 89% knockout ratio, 31 years old, 5'5", 67% knockout ratio. We are talking about the correct guy. Am I right? Okay, let's go. Here we go. Let's get all the way down here. Now, remember, guys, that the what the box rec doesn't acknowledge the WBA World Championship. So just in case you're thinking, yeah, there looks like something's missing, there is. The WBA championships are not here on box rec. If you've been with me for a while, you'll know. Okay. Let's get right into it. So check this out. You see that his fight was 12/26, 2023. 12/26. So 2023, that's the last month. That's December, right? Look, if you were to count it from that 12/26, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 12/24. He's 2 days shy from the year. He actually fought 4 times in 1 year. From the time he got it. Now, let's check out what I was saying. Check this out. Remember that the WBA is not here. Okay? Just, so when you're looking, all right? Okay. So, look at the date. This is Paul Butler. He won all 4 here. But the clock starts ticking the moment you secure it, right? All the way up until that point, you only had 3 belts, right? Okay. So that's 2022, right? 12/13. Look at the date. 12/13. That is at the end of the year. It's at the bottom. The year was done, right? Look at the dates, guys. Look. 23, right? 23, 24. Damn, bro. Within a year, man. That's fucking good. Wow. That's impressive. That's impressive. 12/26. Christmas. A few days after Christmas, he secured the last 4. Then he fought Marlon Tapales. I mean, Luis Pantera Nari already in the following year in December, 2024. Wow, that's fucking incredible. That's incredible. Yeah. Paul Butler unifies, gets all 4 belts. 1, 2, checkmate. Or another 4 belts. Checkmate within 1 year. Look at the dates. Within 1 year, he did all that shit. I just want you to I just wanted to point that out. So when they talking shit about my man, so when they bringing up him like, oh no, he did that. No, you want to see some real technical shit? He did all that shit within a year. From the moment he was awarded status at 118, as awarded when he beat Paul Butler, boom, you got all 4 belts. 30 days after winning the belts, he vacated all the belts and went on his way and unified all 4 belts in a separate weight division in only 6 months. He destroyed the way these guys did it. So when they start talking about him like, oh, he's not him. Oh, Naoya Inoue is not. No, he's above him. The problem is he's doing it too good that you no longer see him. But he doesn't see you neither. Because he's too busy doing championship shit. And I'm going to tell you right now, if he decides to like, I don't know what pissing contest, what happened with Top Rank, Bob Arum, and Akhmadaliev. But I'm a firm believer in what's right is right. Right? If I'm here to say that no matter how much I spoke up against Akhmadaliev's situation, the minute he's the legit number 1 contender, Naoya Inoue fights anybody else, I'm gonna get on him. No, I will not let that slide. Not showing him favoritism, bro. I'm only speaking about the Japanese dude because this is what it's really going on. Akhmadaliev at no point was in front of no one. The only reason why him and his weasel ass team try to weasel their way in is when Sam Goodman pulled out and TJ Doheny stepped in. And that's when shit went wrong. That we all saw it because I have a great memory that Uncle Bob and his they went all over it on social media for the world to see it. That we was all looking at the text messages live right there. 4K. Bam, bam. Bob said this. He said that. Fuck you. Fuck that. Take me to court. They tried bluffing him. Who got the fight? Sam Goodman. Wow. That fast a judge decided? No, because you didn't have a fucking case. Because the rules are the rules. You were never in line. When these guys start talking, imagine a guy got to chase you down and bring you to court to fight you to be your number 1. Bro, you fought 1 fight to be my number 1. How have you been waiting for a long time? If you're not active, that's not my fault. That's your fault. If you think you could just sit down for a year and that I got to fucking answer to you when guys are actually in there fighting active, moving up the ranking system, you were never in line. Now, oh yeah, we was going to look up my man in the ranking system. That's right. That's where I almost forgot. Because if he is, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not showing nobody favoritism. Fuck that. I'm not. 122. Here we go. Where's Akhmadaliev? WBA. He's number 1. He is the number 1. Perlanco's for the WBC. That means they would have had to have bypassed the WBA, because now this is how it went. Let's try to figure out, because I really don't know the rotation, but sometimes I'm good at crossword puzzles. I can figure some shit out. Let's check it out. Okay. Now, how did it go? Luis Pantera Nari was the WBC number 1. If he beats the number 1 in the WBC, that eliminates them. They have to go to the back of the line. So if the IBF and the WBO are next in line and Akhmadaliev couldn't get over, how the fuck are you going to jump over Akhmadaliev to get to the WBC and fight Picasso, David Picasso? Now, David Picasso is the number 1 for the WBC. Yes, he is. Marlon Tapales is the number 2 for the WBC. Marlon Tapales is not ranked in the IBF, and he is not ranked in the WBO. So the only 2 organizations that Marlon Tapales is ranked in is the WBA and the WBC. Okay. They're going to have to acknowledge that WBA. How the hell are you going to get past him? How do you get to David Picasso? That's what Naoya Inoue hinted to, that his fight. So the only way that Naoya Inoue and his team knows that is because who's pulling the strings? Bob Arum, Top Rank. Naoya Inoue is not putting his fights together. We do know this, right? Yes. So who's scheduling his fights? Bob Arum, his promotional company. Wouldn't it be? The worldwide Top Rank. If Naoya Inoue can schedule his own fights, what would he need Top Rank for? So apparently this is what Top Rank is telling him. What I'm telling you guys, after this Sam Goodman fight, I don't see how you stop MJ. They're going to have to work with him. I mean, they can pay him some step-aside money. Let's see if he takes step-aside money. If MJ takes step-aside money, yo, he's all talk. He's all talk. Because if you really wanted a shot at those belts, never take step-aside money. Don't sell your soul. Nah, because a lot of fighters found that the hard way, like Tim Tszyu. He took step-aside money to Jermell Charlo for him to go fight that unification, and it ended up being a draw, the fight, right? So don't take step-aside money. If he really wants to fight him, Marlon Tapales, sorry if I mess up his name, but I'm talking about MJ Akhmadaliev. Sometimes I get him confused with Marlon Tapales. I hate when I do that. All right, but MJ needs to stand his ground. If at this point, if Naoya Inoue is successful past Sam Goodman, then I would stand my ground. At that point, now I think he has a real claim to Naoya Inoue's titles because of that one fight. Because he fought a one title eliminator, right? And now what he's going to do, like his promotional company told him, you got to take a stay busy fight. You can't keep doing this. Fighting a year, waiting a year to fight. So now if he's successful here. Now, what happens, right? If allegedly MJ is supposed to be the next best thing, the best thing since sliced bread, MJ, right? And what happens in this fight that he takes right now? What if he loses? Wouldn't that be the worst case scenario? Where would all this talk about these guys saying he's the number one? He's gonna fight him. Bro, he was never the number one at any time. Not up to this point. No, he wasn't. Now with one fight, there were other men that were way qualified. Sam Goodman, he was legit ranked in 2 separate weight. How the fuck is MJ think he's so cocky to fight one time and jump over Sam Goodman? And how does the people even entertain that? I don't make up the rankings. Akhmadaliev, MJ, he's the number one in the WBA. That's what he is. But Sam Goodman's the number one in the IBF and the WBO. And guess what? They're in line first, not the WBA. You can't jump over them. That's why you were stuck fighting a title eliminator, my man. So wait your turn. Or don't wait your turn. Do whatever the hell you want. But until he's in position, then he'll get that credit and that acknowledgement out of me. But I'm not going to acknowledge bullshit. Never. I don't care what anybody ever tells you. Prove it to me that he was number one during the time that he's been allegedly chasing Naoya Inoue for a fight at any point. At any point. Bro, you just won that fight coming out of the ring, screaming Naoya Inoue's name, and you still haven't fought him. Why? Maybe because you weren't good enough to hold your belt. He beat the guy that beat your ass. You only fought once in a year. You're not active. Your manager wanted too much. And when your opportunity came, they might have played themselves. And the Naoya Inoue train went right by them. Now they're bitter. Now they're salty. But they do got one card up their sleeve. Legitimately, Akhmadaliev is the WBA ranked number one opponent. Eventually, he's going to have to honor that. There's going to come a time where they're going to say, we're going to strip Naoya Inoue. And I don't give a fuck what Bob Arum says at that point. Bob Arum can say, Naoya Inoue, let's vacate, go up, or just a strip. Naoya Inoue is not going for that. He's not going to go for that. He's going to tell Bob Arum, listen, I am not getting stripped or vacating my belt to avoid any fighter ever. You will never attach that title to Naoya Inoue's name. I guarantee it. He's going to say, do whatever you got to do. Get him in the ring with me. Let's get this over with. Yeah. And if he plans on staying on 122, MJ's going to become a problem. But he can really shit on MJ and his whole entire team. Him, his manager, and his promoter, and all his fucking stupid little haters. Right? Naoya Inoue, by announcing that he's going to move up to 126 and vacate the belts. Go get the money you were looking for to fight Naoya Inoue by fighting for that vacated WBA world title. Good luck, Akhmadaliev. Good luck. And let me see you pull that kind of money with whoever's going to fight you for that belt. And second of all, just because you're fighting for the belt doesn't mean you're going to win it. Deuces. And you walk away from Akhmadaliev's situation. You know, because I never really saw too many issues with making a Naoya Inoue fight than Akhmadaliev in my entire time watching Naoya Inoue. I never saw such a problem. The WBO was going to order Stephen Fulton. He said, yo, you don't got to push me. I'll fight him. Yo, they made the fight like that. He got paid handsomely. Every Naoya Inoue fight, there has never, ever, and I repeat, I've never heard some back and forth or, I've heard people duck him like the Russell brother. The Russell didn't fight him, but he just said no. So there was no big thing. Hey, you want it? No, I'm not ready. Okay, bam, we respect that. He really didn't duck him. You know what I'm saying? He just wasn't ready. He got the phone call at the wrong time. He was, damn, I missed that opportunity, but I'm not going to be stupid and fight a guy that good when I'm not ready. So respect. I don't think Russell ducked him then, you know? But show me. Naoya Inoue is always had no problem putting his fight together. And the one person in the one fight talked about the most is MJ. And I don't, for what tells me right there that no red flags. All his fights have pretty much gone on without a hitch. They've signed, fought, whatever, got paid, boom, boom. He is the most controversy And the only time I saw between Naoya Inoue's career, Bob flipped out on hundreds of boxers and different matches. But I'm just talking about Naoya Inoue in particular, just him. I've never seen Bob Arum take to social media and basically tell these dudes to go fuck themselves in other words with any of Naoya Inoue's fights. So apparently they don't get along. So I see that there's conflict there. I can't tell you exactly what it is. Bob don't like working with him. So out of spite, I can see Bob trying to pass him. But it's not because Naoya Inoue himself is scared of MJ. No. No. Like I said, I think he beat better guys than that on the way to the fight. Put him in there with Naoya Inoue if you want to. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. He's gonna destroy him. So and then nobody can say nothing, and then we're like moving on, right? Cool. But like I said, this whole time, once he becomes his mandatory, though, Naoya Inoue has to fight him. He has to. And is this going to be another situation where people say we don't want to see this fight? He has a 12-9 record, 12-1-9 record. MJ. Think about his record when they're announcing him. 12-1-9. Would you say? 12-1-9. Who's he fighting? With a record like Naoya Inoue? Why is Naoya Inoue fighting a guy with 12 fights? Why would he do that? He has a buzz. People believe in him, I guess. Because of that? Because he hasn't earned since losing his belt, he only fought once. He hasn't earned his way back. I know that guys, right, have had losses and got opportunities. I'm not talking about an opportunity. Anybody could have an opportunity, right? I'm not talking about that. I know guys that lost and only fought one time and immediately got a world championship fight. Lomachenko, right? I'm not talking about an opportunity. I'm talking about what's right. What's the facts? And the facts are he couldn't get over Sam Goodman. So don't sell me these lies. The truth is you were never in line at number one at no time. And since he hasn't fought Sam Goodman and we haven't got past Sam Goodman and you and your team couldn't get past Sam Goodman, explain to me where you were his number one. Explain to me like I'm a 5-year-old kid where you ever became his number one to Naoya Inoue's in line. Never. So where are they lying to the people saying he's been Naoya Inoue's number one and he just doesn't want to fight him? No. He's been the number one for the WBA ranking. Yes. That doesn't mean he was Naoya Inoue's next challenge number one. No. Sam Goodman was the number one next to Naoya Inoue's throne. The next fighter to fight him mandatorily was Sam Goodman. And since he hasn't passed Sam Goodman, where were you the number one? Where? Well, you mean where you didn't fight him when TJ Doheny did? You missed your train, your ride. You weren't the number one then. Sam Goodman was, and then the number two for another organization had to step up because you weren't ready. Because remember, MJ said, I'll take the fight, but you got to push the date back. Naoya Inoue said, bro, you don't call shots. The date is the date. MJ, can you make that date? Yes or no? He said no. They went to TJ Doheny. After that, it was a wrap. Akhmadaliev has never been the number one to Naoya's belts yet. He has to wait his turn in line. The moment he becomes it, I'll acknowledge it for what it is. There's no... I showed you the standings. I showed you the dates. I showed you the record. I showed you everything. And I told you straight up, if he was his number one, I would acknowledge it. He never became that. He's only the number one for the WBA ranking, in which that will make you eventually the number one for his belt. But when you hear that, you say, well, then the number one doesn't make you the number one to his belt? Duh. Not in this situation. Duh. He doesn't have one belt. He has 4. Duh. It doesn't work like that. Duh. It makes you the number one when your turn comes up because he has 4 belts. He has 4 different number ones. You're not there yet. So your number one status, if you're at the end of the line, is basically nothing until you get to the front of the line. So when you're saying like, oh, doesn't the number one make him the number one to the WBA? That would be some dumb shit to say. Yeah, of course that works like that if he had one belt. When you're unified, there's a structure, there's a line, there's a process. And they're talking like they're forgetting the process. They're forgetting the order. There's orders to things. Just because you're you're the WB. Yeah. To the unsuspected eye, it's going to sound like, wait a minute, he's the number one. No, his number one isn't activated yet. It's basically a dead number one ranking when you have 4 belts. You got to honor them as such. Don't try to play me with that bullshit, bro. Like I fucking just walked into boxing yesterday. Let me read y'all shit. Y'all testing away. I haven't been ready. I'm sorry about that. What's up, Mark? We pay MJ more in Saudi. You know why? Because he's Muslim. He'll pay a mad bread to fight Naoya Inoue. Yeah, he would. Yeah, he has to win too this week. Like I just said, right? Worst case scenario, MJ goes in there and gets his ass whooped. Now what? Right? But MJ wins. Naoya Inoue wins because remember, Akhmadaliev is fighting before the Naoya Inoue and Sam Goodman fight. Akhmadaliev is going to fight on the 14th of December of this month. So Naoya Inoue is going to fight on the 24th on Christmas Eve. So that they're fighting in the same month so that there's no excuses. I think Naoya Inoue will be coming off of a fight in the same month and MJ will be coming off a fight. They'll both be active, then they can meet. That's what I would be thinking if I was Akhmadaliev's team, because stay busy fighting the same month of the guy that you're chasing, that would be a good move. After this Sam Goodman fight, I don't know how Uncle Bob's going to do it, but he shouldn't do it. He should just, I know they're in a pissing contest. I know Uncle Bob takes shit personal and shit, and when he don't want to fuck with you, he ain't going to fuck with you. So, and I done seen Uncle Bob and all these guys do some shady shit, but I don't want them to attach or to use Naoya Inoue as a pawn. You know how like when couples use the kids as like a weapon? You know, here it is. The problems with the 2 promoting companies, and the guy that's getting the bad look is the fighter. When in actuality, Naoya Inoue would fight all these guys, one right after the other on the same day, I believe. Yeah. He's not scared of none of these guys. So when it comes to that, no. Now they talk like this is all Naoya Inoue's fault. Like, why didn't this guy fight or this guy fight? Naoya Inoue, once again, is not scheduling his fights. Now, he has a say, yes. He has a say. But you know how those promoter dudes come back with that slick talk and everything else back to the fighter. Listen, we don't tell you how to do your job. Don't tell us how to do my job. I'm telling you, Naoya Inoue, this is the fight you need to take because it's going to bring us to the promised land. And you know how they always try to sell it to the fucking fighter. Just fight the fights I'm giving you and let me do the business. All right? Go train. Naoya, I don't understand what's going on. Wax on, wax off. But you guys are telling me to believe in the process. But remember, I don't fight no easy fights, right? Fucking TJ Doheny and shit. Wax on, wax. I'm gonna do what y'all say. Sometimes these fighters gotta do as such to get where they want to be. Even though I know Naoya Inoue is one of the highest star status out there, you know. And he basically can say who he wants to fight, but it doesn't always work that way. Even though Naoya Inoue can say, hey, I want to fight that guy right there. What if that guy says no? What if he says no? What is Naoya? Just hit him over the head, put a bag over his head, throw him in the ring. Well, that's kidnapping, right? So you guys are already going to jail, right? right? You can't make that guy fight him. So, and then he has to go to another guy. And then that's when we get some of these fights, and the fans are like, I didn't want to see this fight. Naoya Inoue is probably saying, I didn't want to fight this fight. I wanted to fight that guy, but he wouldn't fight me for whatever reason. And that's where sometimes some of these fighters, it's easy to attack some of these fighters. It's easy to, dress up the picture. It's easy to yell out, yeah, MJ's number one for the WBA. Yeah, I know that. If he only had the WBA World Championship by itself, well, then there was no way around it. Now, would they? But since he's a unified, undisputed world champion, there's a structure and there's a list, a waiting list. Whoever was there first, whatever organization is going to want to lead the night. It's our guy first. You fighting our. Listen, this is a big money fight, fighting Naoya Inoue. And whoever's in the number one of whatever organization, now they got their fighter in on one of the biggest fights, representing their organization. So these organizations knew that, because you don't always have to have all 4 belts. You could be unified with 2, but there's still going to be an order. Which one are you going to fight first? And that's all I was saying the whole time. Like, yo, bro, I understand he's just not in line. That's all. He's not in line. He's not up next. Sam Goodman is legit. So, yo, what did you think of MJ fighting? Listen, he's got to get past that test. We talked. I hope I answered that. Yeah. What's up, Bam Bam Boogie in the building? I've been meaning to acknowledge you was here, but you know how I do. I get going. You know what I'm saying? December 141. What? Oh, December 14, ESPN. Yeah, Jaime Munguia. Yeah. Yep. Oh, so thank you, Bam. So you answered that for me. What's up, Matt? How you doing? S2K Matt in the building. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. On the zone, Robert Rocha. Yeah, I talked about that. Rocha and all those fights and those cards, I announced it not on the last live, but the one before that. And I gave all the dates. Thank you, Bam Bam, for backing me up and giving me the dates. So my man Bam put it in the comments right there. It perfectly. He put down all the fights and the dates and stuff. So just read the comments right there. But yes. And look, when I started this boxing channel, guys, I told you guys, I was going to be as fair as I can as possible. And I was going to be as transparent as I can be. And I won't back up anything from Naoya Inoue like I wouldn't back it up from NJ or any other fighter for that matter. I just believe that the situation needs to be explained, where that from the outside looking in and ranking systems. They can dress it up real nice. But what's really going on is a whole different thing. And I think that Naoya Inoue, look, for me, he's an exciting fighter. He achieved a lot very fast. With if you thought that that record that I just showed you and broke you with your own eyes, you could see it from the date that he unified all four belts in two separate weight divisions. Within 1 year, he did that. He got 8 belts within 1 year. Actually, he already had 3 belts when he entered the ring with Paul Butler, so that's not technically true. But by the standards of boxing and the way it's laid out, meaning, stay with me. Isn't it true on the night you unify all 4 belts, all organizations sends you a brand new belt? Don't they send you a brand new belt after every title defense? Meaning that those last belts you had were old. And what you just accomplished right now, this is what it is. You can also send in these plates right here. You ever see them? They're filled in sometimes. That's like the WBO does that. And then and the WBA used to do that. You would become the regular. You had to win a couple fights. Then you were elevated to the super. You could never like win the super. You had to be awarded the super status of the WBA. And that's where their organization got crazy. And that's why they're all behind, Anyway, that's another story. So when you win the belts, Naoya Inoue, didn't he get a brand new set of 4 more belts sent to him after he beat Paul Butler? So he got 4 new belts. From that moment, getting 4 new belts, he got 4 right there. They're 4 all 4, and he went out and got 4 more within 1 year. He got 8 belts, technically. I understand he came into the fight with 3, yes. But if by boxing standards, that's how it's done. He won 4 belts that night with Paul Butler. Yeah, he did. So that's some fucking video game shit, bro. And if you think I'm talking about that being like a really high achievement, just imagine being a 19-year-old kid and in only your 6th professional fight, you become a world champion. In 8, you become a 2-division world champion. You're on a 22 consecutive world title fights. Means his last 22 fights have been for world championship fights. His last 9 fights have been for 2 belts or more. His last 9. He hasn't fought for 1 belt in a long time, man. 9 fights ago, he finally won 2. From the moment he won 2 belts, he ain't never fought for anything less. His last 9 fights, bro, they've been all either unification, unify, right, or undisputed. They're either unified or undisputed. His last 9. Going to this 110, it'll be another defense to all 4 of his belts, and he would have defended all 4 of these belts in this new weight division 3 times already. He gave fighters opportunities of winning 4 belts. When do you ever hear any fighter ever do that? Usyk did it with Tyson Fury, right? And well, not technically, he's not gonna get to do it. That's right. Fuck. They stripped him of the IBF. He's not gonna get to do it. When they fought, Tyson Fury came into the fight, the WBC world champion of the world. So he couldn't give him a shot at all 4. So Usyk never did that. Terrence Crawford never did it. Terrence Crawford never gave anybody an opportunity at none of the 4 belts that he ever won. He never defended none of them. He didn't defend the ones at 147. He didn't defend the one at 140. Naoya Inoue is going on his 3rd 4-belt title defense. See, Terrence Crawford was smart. Terrence Crawford said, you really think I'm going to take my life's work, get all 4 belts, chase all these guys down, and give you one night to win all 4 belts? Shit. He vacated and go get him like I got him out the mud. I'm not just going to bring 4 belts to you. You end up being a fluke accident. I get caught with a punch. You knock me out. You basically stamped that man's Hall of Fame career. He didn't have to do nothing but be one guy. Right? So Terrence Crawford was like, fuck that. I ain't giving nobody no opportunity at 4 belts. Go get it like I got it. And he never gave nobody no opportunity at that. You're not going to get your name off of me. No, if you want to be me, go do what I did. They didn't just hand Terrence Crawford those belts. He had to go get them shits. Right? So he never felt like, nah. Because it was bullshit. Once you become all 4 belts, every time you fight, all 4 belts on the line. It's not like you can pick and choose. Well, I'll put up the WBO today. If I lose, I'll put up the IBF the next one. You know, you win them one at a time sometimes. You can win them 3 at a time, I understand. But you go out and you win them, let's just say, hypothetically, you go out and win them one at a time, but when you lose them all at once? That's bullshit, huh? That's fucking bullshit, bro. Like, I had to win these shits one at a time. And now that I fucking achieved my dream, my very next fight is for he stands to win all 4 belts. You know how long it took me to do this? 1 year. Anyway, but anybody else, like Terrence Crawford, 6 years it took him. You know what I mean? So it took Terrence Crawford a long fucking time to do that, man. And even look how long it took Usyk to fucking finally get the last Infinity Stone from Tyson Fury. How long did that take Usyk? From the moment he had all 3 or 1-1, right? And then he finally got to like solidify that. Once he got it, what'd you do after that? They stripped him. He didn't get to do much, huh? The motherfuckers didn't even wait a fucking week. They were like, IBF went knocking on his door, on Usyk's door. And you know, the fighter always thinks he's bigger than boxing, right? And then the fans don't understand this, right? Usyk says, he thinks he's slick. He goes, I just won all 4 belts, IBF. The IBF knocks on, hey, Usyk, what are you doing with our belt? What do you mean? I just won all 4 belts, IBF. Well, we want you to fight the mandatory, Dubois. No, what you mean? Nah, I'm not gonna fight him. You know, was it Dubois at the time or the other dude? Right? He said, nah, I'm not gonna fight the mandatory. I signed a rematch with Tyson Fury. The IBF says to him, who told you that what you do with your personal life is our concern? We're the IBF organization. We have a ranking system for a reason. We honor our ranking system. And if you were coming up our ranking and became the number 1, we would make sure you got your shot. So are you going to fight the number 1 guy or are you going to fight Tyson Fury? He says, if I pull out of the Tyson Fury fight, bro, he's going to sue me. They said, once again, you went and signed that rematch clause, that rematch contract. The IBF never told you to do that. So you got a choice. Either you fight our number 1 or you go fight Tyson Fury and we're going to take our belt. That's what situation Usyk was in. Once him and his lawyers went about it and he saw that he was cornered and they were right, that taking a rematch, the IBF didn't say, hey, when you fight, you know, we're going to honor your rematches for all this. You should have checked in with them first. But you didn't check in with them. The boxer went and scheduled a fight under the WBC being number 1 in line. So they had the right to put all the 4 belts You should have checked with them. Then they came and told you the rematch, that's your own personal shit. You boxers all think you're bigger than boxing. You're going to tell what boxing what to do. Oh, no, Usyk, work with me, IBF, work with me. So we should tell him and his family, this man that's been fighting to achieve his dream, we should tell him, no, 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 no. You need to wait because, come on, this is the biggest fight in boxing. The heavyweight championship supremacy, they got to run it back. So you need to wait another year. Tell that to that guy. And that guy's not trying to hear that shit. I don't give a fuck about Usyk or him or him. I want my shot. Organization is doing their job. You know what? We're going to have to take our belt. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, we're going to have to take our belt. You obviously don't want to fight our guy. We're telling you what to do at work. That's like you going to work and telling the boss, don't fuck with me today. I ain't working. You think your boss is going to be cool with that? Nah, leave him over there. Don't let him work. You know how he is. He's in one of his moods. Go ahead. Sit right there. I'm going to pay you for the day too. Matter of fact, I'm paying you overtime because you spoke up and told me like a man, fuck me. You're coming to my job where I pay you to work and you're going to tell me you're not going to work today. You know what? You're right. You're right. I'm wrong. IBF said, fuck that. We're the boss of our belt. The WBC, the WBO, and the WBA can do whatever the fuck they want with you. We're telling you what's going on. That's how it goes. Do you feel that it was fair, justified? That doesn't matter. What are the rules? And what are we always talking about boxing? That some of these fucking sanctioning bodies need to hold these fighters accountable. But when they do hold them accountable, now it's the IBS. They're the assholes now. They're the assholes for enforcing the law. Because you want to do whatever you want to do for your millions of dollars and you want to sell it to me like, yeah, but your IBF is going to be represented that night too anyway. The IBF's like, yeah, my man, but that doesn't affect this guy that wants his shot. What part of that don't you understand? It doesn't matter if it's going to be big for boxing. It doesn't matter if you're going to make a lot of money. And it doesn't matter if our belt's going to be in the fucking ranking and the rules are the rules. He's next. Not what the fuck you want to do. So that's when the fighter thinks they get bigger than the sport. And then the fans are like backing the fighter like, this is bullshit. No, this is what you fans been asking for. Let's clean up the sport. Let's stop the corruption. Let's hold these fighters accountable. Let's honor the ranking system. And when they do it, yo, this is bullshit. No, recognize what they're doing. They had all the right to do that to Usyk and to Terrence Crawford. Oh, when they, the brothers, they spoke fast. It was like only a couple of them on the channel one day. Then I think they thought about it. I'm not going to toot my own horn and say I said it and they saw me. Who the fuck am I? You know what I mean? They think that I'm that big that they're watching me. Bullshit. They just probably came to the conclusion. Sometimes we say things too fast. How many times do I say on a fucking live every fucking day something too fast or say somebody's name or mix up some weight division or something because I'm doing this all from the top of my head. You know what I'm saying? I'm bound to make a mistake, right? So, it's these fighters right now, Terrence Crawford, Usyk, Naoya Inoue, Jamel Charlo, Josh Taylor, who else? Who am I? Devin Haney. These are all fighters that unified in a 4-belt era. Since we've been in a 4-belt era, like there was a 3-belt era, and this is the 4-belt era right now. Since we've been in the 4-belt era, I think there's been 10 men to successfully unify all 4 belts. And since the 4-belt era, and I'm talking back 2014, Oscar De La Hoya, Bernal Hopkins, they finally acknowledged the WBO. I'm talking since then, since that night in Vegas that the WBO came in. Since then, there's only been 10 fighters to and then and that's including Bernal Hopkins, right? And then the Taylor that beat him, you know, um, and that's including those men. Teofimo Lopez never did it. That's fake. He never did it. He was close. He was fucking close. He just never did it. He was basically Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. was close. He got 3. He lost against Terrence Crawford. Came up short. You know what I mean? So, but I said all of that to say this, right? That getting these belts may look good. It may bring a lot of eyes to boxing and so forth and so forth. But this shit is a pain in the ass, bro. You got to satisfy a lot of people, and with the WBO right now doing with that new rule that they implemented where that they're going to ask their number 1 contender one time, we're offering you a title fight. If you don't take that title fight, you go down in the rankings. How far down the organization and deems that, right? But that's an organization holding the fighters accountable. When the IBF did this, they're holding the fighters accountable, and they're hoping that the other 2 organizations follow suit. When the IBF entered that 10-pound rehydration, it was because they wanted to make sure that the guys that were competing for their belt were on the up and up. That you were a natural 130 pounder, a natural 135 pounder. You weren't cutting so much weight. You weren't Conor Benn. Where Conor Benn wants to fight upwards of fucking on a middleweight, and then he wants to come down and try to challenge a 140-pound champion, 147-pound champion. He wants to get over there. These are guys that can cut weight exceptionally well and make these weights. It was funny because I thought when Isaac Pitbull Cruz won the belt, I was like, you guys are all proud, happy. I'm glad for the man. I love it. What happens when your fighter actually wins? Or is he prepared to defend this belt? Is sometimes these guys run down and really kill themselves to make this weight to fight for the title. Then they don't realize, like, wait a minute, like, I gotta go do that again, time and time again, or you could use it as a bargaining chip to try to fight in a higher division. But that's what I mean with guys playing around with boxing. They're not the natural champion. So that's why the IBF came up with that 10-pound rehydration clause. So a lot of these belts implement rules and structures, and they hope that other belts would have by this time caught along. The IBF has had that 10-pound for God knows how long, but it doesn't seem like any of the other belts adopted that same method. Just like the WBO has a rule structure that if you're a WBO champion in any weight division and you become the super champion, you have the right to challenge the existing champion in the above weight division, right? But you can't do that with basically any other belt. There's the belts have different rules between them. So when you see something go down with a belt, sometimes you're going to have to look up that rule structure for that organization, because that rule might not apply for the IBF or the WBC or the WBA, what the WBO is doing by allowing their champion to become the mandatory to the existing champion. And that's how Terrence Crawford was going to fight for that WBO and to satisfy the Met, because Sebastian Fundora had got suspended legally. And there goes the 2 lawyers trying to do fuckery, right? Terrence Crawford's lawyer, like, I don't care. He needs to fight me or vacate the belt. Well, we need to put that belt in with Ismail Makhachev when they fight. And they were trying. And these are all the snake moves that happens behind the scenes, right? with all the lawyers and shit, right? And they just couldn't win because the boxing athletic committee deemed Sebastian Fundora suspended for his broken nose and the injuries he sustained in the Tim Tszyu fight. And when they went and took it in front of the board, the Tim Tszyu's argument, I mean Sebastian Fundora's argument was, how do you expect me to fight him if you guys suspended me? And if you suspended me, technically, I can't talk business with him when you're suspended out of the sport of boxing. So legally, Terrence Crawford, you shouldn't even be talking to me or to my managers. And he was right. He was right. And to satisfy Terrence Crawford, the WBO let him fight for an interim belt that night. And he has the WBO interim. You know? And when we think about all these cases and lawyers and stuff, look at, as a matter of fact, the same manager lawyer that Akhmadaliev has, right? MJ, Arthur Benevier has that lawyer. No, Demetrius Bivol has that lawyer and that manager, right? What he's doing is in the Arthur Beneviet fight, he wanted to take get that decision overturned. He was going to take it to court. I'm not sure if he's still doing it. I know rumors back then he was doing it. Remember when Loma lost to Devin? Loma went in and his lawyers tried to take it to court. And a lot of these fighters have taken other fighters and other decisions to court. But here comes Devin Haney. He does it, and he's like a shitbag and viewed by like every boxer. Oh, he's going in for assault and battery. Oh, where do they do that at? Like, bro, you guys are shitting on Devin Haney when all these boxers are actually doing that shit too. But the fans pick and choose when to really shit on a guy. And I think it was so much so much attention on that fight, so much antics. It wasn't a good look. And after the carnival thing situation, it just wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good look. But truth be told, man, Loma tried to take Devin Haney to court after their fight. Where you think Devin got it from? Loma, right? So there's a lot of double standards. And there's a lot of misinformation. And there's a lot of things that sometimes people don't know how to break it down. They don't know how to look through it. They just see one thing at face value. No, he's the number one. It says it right there. No shit, Sherlock. He's not the number one in line. Jonathan, what? Yeah. And that's on Pro Box, bro. Oh, yeah, you got it. Okay. Yep. Yeah, Pro Box. Yeah, definitely. Yo, listen, man. I'm trying to tell you, there's a lot of shit that we see in fucking box. Yo, I'm gonna drop the link. Anybody wants to join in, shoot the shit. We could talk some boxing and shit. Fuck it. We could, you know what I'm saying? You guys want to come in? I already said my piece. I feel like I said enough. If anybody wants to come in, break down any of the top fights, you guys want to talk about any of your favorite fight or whatever y'all want to talk. Yo, you guys like the little Christmas little theme going? I got the little lights. Yeah, see that, right? You know what I mean? Hey, gotta keep up with the times. Gotta keep up with the times, right? You know? Ah, man. I tell you, man, you know, there's certain situations that I do view in boxing that are messed up, and I will speak on it. There are very certain situations, like I saw that shit unfold with Top Rank and Bob Arum, and that got ugly real fast. You know, and when I'm on the outside looking in, you know, after everything was said and done, versus Terrence Crawford in Top Rank, Terrence Crawford loses, the case or whatever in court. He had 30 days to appeal it, and he had like more evidence, more videos, more stuff, and they had like Bob Arum. They were playing the videos, and he said it right out of his mouth, whatever. And um, I felt like Terrence Crawford was telling the truth the entire time. I never doubted anything he said and stuff. But the next move he made is what opened my eyes. If this sport is so corrupt and Bob Arum was so bad to him, why did he not follow the lawsuit, Terrence Crawford? Why didn't he follow it? Come on, pick it back up. He decided to let everything go. Let bygones be bygones. When he had him, like, what we felt like was like in the out, on the up and up. He had Bob Arum by his balls. I felt like, the way everybody was dressing it up. Then as I was starting to peel the layers, you know, down, and I started looking at Terrence Crawford's interviews himself, that I started to realize that all Terrence Crawford really wanted to do was to be given his opportunity. He didn't really want to like play the bad guy or the villain. He just wanted people to acknowledge him for the fighter that he was. Terrence Crawford's not a lawyer. He's not none of that shit. And whatever differences they had, whether you feel or not, he handled his career well or not. I felt like Terrence Crawford needed to take these steps to become the man he needed to be. When I saw see situations like that, I'll talk about that and I'll acknowledge it for what it is. I felt like, yeah, he did in a way slow down Terrence Crawford's career. Yes, he did. And he could have been in better, and all that back and forth. I didn't make no money when you're looking into the crowd and the fucking crowd is packed, like sold out. Like, how dare you like disrespect Terrence like that? And I remember this whole argument. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it all just came to an end like that. And I realized how powerful boxing truly is. And sometimes how powerless us as fighters are. They wear you down, and the fighter's like, fuck the court case, man. All I ever wanted to do was fight. If they wear you down long enough, you'll fucking throw in the towel type shit, because that wasn't Terrence Crawford's fight. Terrence Crawford's fight was in the ring. That's where he wanted to prove his greatness. This was just a distraction. So when I saw things like that, I still remember things like this and shit. And I always address like some of the corruption and shit in boxing and stuff. But I'm also on the side of the fighter. I'm on the side of the fighter because they're the ones in the ring punching in their brains, not these promoters, not these guys that can talk on these mics, not me. Nah, it's them. And they're the ones that should be talked about and praised for giving us these exciting fights. Errol Spence Jr. went in there and might have took a massive ass whooping, but I love that man, and I am thankful, and I'll always be a fan of Errol Spence Jr. because I remember for all the times that he bring us those big fights and made us believe, you know, like that Kell Brook fight. I'll never forget that fight because I thought Errol was so done. I was like, nobody beats Kell Brook at this weight. Damn man, Errol, I think you fought him too early. Yo, the way he fucking broke his orbital bone, made that man quit. Man, I can't tell you how much I was jumping in my living room that day. So I appreciate all these fighters for lacing it up, and how dare I criticize or judge these men and women, that are going in there and but in this game, there's gonna be points where I will be critical. Judgmental, that's something else. Playing favoritism or being biased, that's something else entirely. But just giving these fighters exactly what they're doing, nothing more, nothing less. I'm not going to build you up any more than you should be. You're not going to get any less from me neither. But if you're an accomplished fighter and you're doing what you need to be doing, then I'm not going to call you a bum, because if your guy beats, when he beats him, they're not going to want to give him credit for. They're going to say, "Yo, didn't you call him a bum?" And I talk about this, the importance of giving both sides their credit, and the importance of talking these guys up, you know. But cloud chasing, we got to be able to identify cloud chasing. I've been in the game long enough to identify when I see some cloud chasing and I see some bullshit ass fights. I told y'all one way or another that Ortiz fight, right? And look how they got it done. But I knew there was something fishy there. And when I announced the card, did I not point out that situation? Yeah, I couldn't predict exactly how they were going to do it, but I did tell you that there's a problem here, didn't I? And that was my whole point. Yo, this doesn't look right. Few days later, he cancels that fight. He's going on with the Saudi princess fight card. I wonder why. Ching. You know what I mean? So that's how they fix that. But that's what I talk about. I'm not talking about another fighter's wife, kids. I'm not condoning that kind of bullshit talking. The only thing I'm cool with, my man's gonna fuck him up, knock him out. Regular shit talking. That's common in the sport of boxing. If you don't like that, they're probably showing golf on some sports channel. I would suggest check that out. I don't know. Maybe darts, maybe ballet. I don't know. Whatever you're into. If you can't hear two guys talk shit to each other, well, then maybe boxing might not be for you. Maybe you're easily intimidated. Maybe you're easily offended in a sport that's led by aggression is awarded, violence is applauded. Maybe this might not be for you. We need shit talking. We need these guys to call each other out. That's 100. But motherfucker, I slept with your girlfriend, or your daughter's doing this, or your mother. That I'm not cool with that shit. That I'm not cool with none of that shit. People die for less. From where I'm from, and I know from where you from too. Damn it, right? I'm not going down that road. Basic shit talking, I do it all day. Well, talk shit about him, this fighter with him. Hey, that's what it's about. You know what I mean? But that's where I draw the line. I'm not willing to go and say, oh, fuck, that bad about somebody. No, basic shit talking, I'm cool with that. Yeah, I can rock with that shit, you know? But Bill and Teo have what? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Bam, bam. What are you talking about? Who's the face of boxing? Both Bill and Teo have proclaimed being the face of boxing. Oh, Bill Haney or Devin or Teo? Some people try to say even Turkey Al was the face of boxing for getting that stupid made up award, because the WBC made award and made him the honorary man of the year. You know what I mean? Have they ever given out that award to anybody consecutively every year? Like, okay, so if they gave it to him this year, who was last year's winner and the year before that? I would like to see their picture. So don't make up some fucking award and think that all of a sudden that makes him on your bullshit ass made up award. No, the Turkey Al contribution to the sport of boxing has been big, guys. It's been really big. Those fight cards have been amazing. And everything he done or didn't do or trying to do, I might not be in agreement with everything. I didn't like that stunt with the unified belt that they made up rather than letting Arthur put on all 5 belts. That's what I wanted to see. That's what was on the line. Your belt, your unified world champion belt that you made up there on the spot, that belt was not on the line. That's not even a real belt. It's a nice award, and it was cool that you made it, but get out of the fucking way. I want to see these belts on. That's what you're fighting for. So some of the things he's done, no, I'm not in agreement with. Some of these bullshit fights he tried to put together real fast, no. But everything that he has done, and some of these big fight cards, he made them real interesting. You know, he's good for it. But you're not gonna come into the sport with a few years being in boxing, and all of a sudden everybody got to bend the knee, kiss your ass because you got so much money that's what they should do. But just like everything in life, you got to earn your way. You got to put enough time. We got to see that you're not dipping your toe in boxing, using boxing for whatever you want to use it for, whatever agenda. We don't know what it is, you know? And then all of a sudden you walk away with what you wanted to get out of boxing. You were really never there for boxing. Are you here for the long haul? Or can you do a little bit of shit and all of a sudden be considered the face of boxing? So he could just spend money but not put in the time. Just because he can spend a lot of money and put some big cards in a short period of time, you ain't been here long enough. You haven't been in the game longer than HBO was, Showtime, and now they're gone. At least do what they did for as long as they did. You know, a lot of these people want to get fucking crazy with these titles. Oh no, he's the face of boxing. Look what he's doing. And they try to blind you by, if he's not the face, then Jake Paul is. Like, bro, stop it, people. Stop it. Stop trying to create situation and arguments really behind nothing. The face of boxing are the men and women that are in there boxing in a real boxing match being the most viewed. Period. Period. Who has the most views and who do the people deem to be one of the boxers most popular? You would be considered the face of boxing. How could it be Turki Al-Sheikh? He's not a boxer. I don't understand. But I'm not hating on the man, Turki Al-Sheikh. I'm just sitting here like this and I'm saying to myself, okay, I see everything you're doing. For how long? Are you here when the good and the bad? Are you here for the long haul? Or are you only here to get whatever it is? Why did you get into our sport in the first place? Were you bored? Did you have so much money? You know what? I'm going to go into mixed martial arts, boxing, and I'm just going to start entering all kinds of sports. You know what? I got so much fucking money. I can basically do whatever I want. I'm just going to walk over here and start messing around with this. Well, we've been here for a very long time, some of us. 20, 30 plus years. And there's people in boxing don't even know my name. You walk in the door with all this money because you're able to buy some shit, you should be the face. Not that coach that's been training those kids coming up, fighting, going into the Golden Gloves, amateur tournaments for 40, 50 years. Not that guy. Not the guy making these champions. He shouldn't be the face of boxing. Nobody knows who he is. But there are a lot more people that gave a lot more to the sport. And in 1 year's time, he gets a made-up award. And now all of a sudden, what? It's got to be a boxer for one. And for two, you got to put in your time in your around here. You can't just walk in and think you're one of us. Nah. Uh, some people might be impressed by diamonds and shiny things and gold and glitter. Some people might be. Some people might, oh yeah, he must be he got all this money. Some people might be blind by that, but some of us can't be bought in that way. Some of us don't care about money. We got enough of it of our own. We're not rich or broke. We're, we're happy, but your money doesn't change our perspective on what you should really put in before you're awarded these titles. Some of us can't be bought. You can't just come in and throw money around and expect me to, yeah, he's the face of boxing because what he's doing. Man, nah, hell no. Don't work that way. What the hell is this guy talking about? Yo, Bam Bam, kick this dude out, bro. Take care of that, bro. What? Yeah, get him out of here. Don't Hitchison have to face IBF ranking? Yeah, I could probably do that right now. Why? What do you want to know? Um, the IBO, okay. Richard Hitchison right now is in a peculiar situation, Bam Bam. He doesn't have any mandatories. In the IBF ranking, there's no ranked opponent for number 1 or 2. I said that on my last video. There's nobody. Jack Catterall is number 3, and I believe that's still the standing. So he's supposed to, which I believe is a good fight for Richard Hitchison. He should learn how to be a champion first before diving in the waters with all the other champions. You know what I'm saying? Um, I would like a Jack Catterall fight. In fact, a lot of people don't like a Jack Catterall fight, and I think he's a good fight. He showed a lot of patience and poise against Regis Progress. So if we were to look not at the complete rankings, when you're talking about the 140, the only ranking that I'm concerned about, and the only ranking that Richard Hitchison needs to be concerned about is the IBF ranking. That's the only ranking he needs to be worried about. So in the IBF ranking, Jack Catterall, Arnold Barboza, Subria Matias, um, Elvis Rodriguez, um, um, Gabriel. Okay, right here. Um, Dalton Smith, Jose Carlos Rodriguez, and those are the guys at the bottom, like Richard Regis Progress. I already named off the other top guys. And Jermaine Ortiz is 14. Michelle Ali Rivera is number 15. Like those are like the lower guys. But the top guys, there's no guys, is I'm looking at it right here. There's no number 1 and number 2, and I was right almost with every one of them. Jack Catterall is the number 3, Arnold Barboza is the number 4, and Supriya Bhatia is the number 5. So what I'm thinking is perhaps the IBF just might slide the rankings up. So if there's no number 1 and number 2, wouldn't you would think, you know, kind wouldn't Jack Catterall be the number 1? Wouldn't Andrew Barboza be the number 2? And wouldn't be Subriel Matias be number 3 then? Once they, I guess, upgrade their rankings. So, oh yeah, and then they also got to put in Liam Paro now. Yeah. Wait a minute. Yep, we're missing Liam Paro. Liam Paro's going to get put in these rankings. He'll probably go down like Subriel went down to number 6. Because remember when Subriel Matias lost his belt, he went down to the rankings to number 6. So I'm interested to see where the IBF is going to place Liam Paro. You know, we're going to see. Subriel got a fight coming up, but his opponent is yet to be determined. So, I think he should fight Jack Catterall. Richard Hitchison. Honestly, yes. Sandal Martin, what the fuck is going on with Sandal Martin? Right? Um, wasn't Sandal Martin scheduled to fight Alberto there? Right? Whatever happened with that fight? You know, the Spaniard there. He was supposed to fight him, and then all of a sudden, I don't know. Yo, you see what I'm saying, Bam Bam? You gotta stay on this, bro. Yeah, shit. That's what I would think he would do. Now, the whole 140-pound division, the other champions, obviously Teofimo Lopez, WBO champion, Jose Valenzuela, WBA champion, right? And then the Devin Haney situation, champion in recess. I have no idea what's going on with his status, but Alberto there, right, has not fought say Sandal Martin neither, and really nothing has moved for the WBC. So I guess kind of that puts Devin Haney in good standards, because you know, time is going by here, and I don't know what the hell's going on with these other fights that should be. Look, that fight doesn't seem like it's going off so much. In fact, that Gary Antoine Russell is going allegedly is going to be fighting Jose Valenzuela. So, and then at one point in time, Richard Hitchison called out Tio right in the fight. Then I quickly went and I wanted to see Tio's respond. I saw Tio's respond, and Tio said, "I got my lawyers on it." Tio said, "Yo, as soon as he said that, I want to fight for that." But and then on the other hand, I saw what Tio and wants to fight Jerron Boots Ennis, and he was thinking about, I guess, testing himself at 147 for Jerron Boots Ennis's belt. Then I was like, wait a minute. If Teal really does that shit and he goes and fights fucking Jerron, I would, hats off to you. But now, like, which way would you guys go? Would you, honestly, if you were Teofimo Lopez and you were like, oh, none of the champions, and then Richard Hitchison went and pulled that shit off in Puerto Rico, but you already had announced that you were gonna fight Jerron Boots Ennis. Now what do you do? Do you like, wait a minute, Jerron Boots Ennis? Wait, just hold up 1 second. Let me fight him first, right? To try to get that. But what do you do? Like, what do you think he's gonna do? You know what I mean? He fights Paro on the what? Oh, on the Tank undercard. Mm. Hmm. I hmm. On the Tank Davis undercard. All right, so in the WBC standards and ranking, Sander Martin, number 1, Jack Catterall, number 2, Dalton Smith, number 3, Gary Antoine Russell, number 4, Josh Taylor, number 5, Jose Carlos Ramirez is number 6. And if you want number 7, all the way up to number 7, Arnold Barboza. Okay, so I'll give you the top 7 guys for that. Okay, so and that's just for the WBC ranking. Some of these guys are not even in all the rankings. You just because you box doesn't mean that you're in every ranking. You have to notify the organization to let them know that you're interested to compete for their world championship. At that point, you pay sanctioning fees to the organization, and you pay a different kind of sanctioning fee when you win the world championship. Shall you be successful? So when you hear me talk about some of these guys and you don't hear me talk about other guys, sometimes I need to specify this sometimes too, because I know I get a little too ahead of myself, but I am talking about sometimes a Pacific ranking, not the division as a whole for everybody in it. Sometimes I got to remind myself to at least specify that part of it, because sometimes I'm just talking about the guys in the IBF, and I get it, I am. Then you're like thinking probably, but what's this guy talking about? What about this guy and this guy? I know they exist. I know they're in the division, but that's probably my fault that I might not be. I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, damn, how many times have you actually told them that you're talking about a particular ranking, not the entire division? Sometimes I am talking about the entire division. I am, not just a particular ranking, but I got to remind myself to specify some of these things because, I'm getting better at this every day too. And I think that that's one thing I'm going to focus on too as I'm seeing this. Bam got me in this conversation but so thank you for pointing out this that made me think about that too as well, because I never really thought of it like that. I'm just thinking they know what I'm talking about. I'm like, maybe they don't, because for instance, like what I'm talking about, Teofimo Lopez is a champion in the WBO, and his ranking is totally different than almost all the other rankings. There's a lot of guys that are fighting in the WBO that are in none of the other rankings. So I just want you guys to know that. This idiot. Yeah, so I'm trying to tell you, what are you talking about? You can't see them? Oh, they were streaming only on the restream or whatever. Yeah, that's what it is. Cause I'm on this service. Yeah, I was just gonna do that right now, right? And go to YouTube and check my chats on the YouTube one, right? But because I got a troll writing all kinds of shit on my feed, on my restream. And they was talking about YouTube Bam Bam. And they were like putting stuff up and I could see it. And I'm here deleting it off, blocking it, deleting it, deleting. They keep making other accounts and they've been on the entire time I've been talking Bam Bam. Yeah. So I was wondering if you were seeing that on the YouTube channel as well. And I guess you don't know what I'm talking about, so I guess you don't see it. So I was just gonna log in right now on the YouTube channel and look at it myself to see what you see that you're not seeing this. Because I got a troll trolling me right now on my channel on the restream. Yeah. Okay, you got some of them blocked too. Right here. Yeah, there's a few. I see them up here too. And they blocked. Those ones are blocked. Yeah. And those are the trolls that have been trolling me. But you know you always gonna get trolls. You know what I mean? That's when you know you're great. The hell are these guys are these guys are like really something. Huh? They are persistent, huh? I like it. That means bam in life. That's when you know you're good. You know you're good when you got like if they having that much effort to come on and try to mess up my live stream and to try to come in, hey, what's up, baby? How you doing? Yo, anytime, anytime. You know, that's when you know you're good, right? When if these trolls can put in that much effort to make that many phony accounts to come on my channel to say childish stuff on the channel, well then that lets you know that you're that good in what you do. You know what I mean? And I know that I'm hitting a couple nerves, and because some of these people don't want to talk about the truth. Some of these people, what they rather do is live in the lie. You know, if I show you the truth and I show it in black and white, and there's absolutely no way around it, you know, there's been people in the world that have seen the truth right there firsthand, saw the videotape. They saw exactly what the person did and everything. It's like they're in video, high def 4K, and they decide to say, you know, I'm going to forget about what I just saw in that video and I'm going to believe what I want. That's a person's choice. But typically for me, I take that as a sign, as a badge of honor. Because if a motherfucker could come on and waste that much energy to try to mess up your flow, bro, it just goes to show you you're him. You're him and you're talking about the right stuff. Why? Because they want to silence you from getting it out there. Because they want to make sure that their fighter looks a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So that just motivates me to do what I do even more. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, bro, these dudes is cowards. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, how do like at least I'm up here with the mic. I got my camera on. These guys is hiding behind little fake names and stuff. Who's the real coward? I'm up here right there. Look, look. So it just goes to show you what kind of men they are. You know what I'm saying? You know, cowardly acts. That's what cowards do. So I don't acknowledge cowards. You know what I'm saying? Look at make another account. Here they are again. Like this is great. It just lets you goes to show you, man. Yeah, man. Oh, oh yeah. Let me take care of that. I just had to take care of that over there. Look, these guys are just that's when you know you're the best. You are the best. Yo, man. Listen, guys. How long have we been up here anyway? Oh, 2 hours, nice. That's usually my time limit. So I guess I'll take this as a sign. Um, Listen, guys, we still have a lot of big fights coming up, amazing fights. I can't wait to see this Clash of the Titans to finally get past this Usyk Tyson thing. It seems like a lot of these heavyweight championships have been going back and forth for quite some times. As we saw Tyson Fury fight Wilder, what was it, 4 times? Well, it was three, like really fast. So one of them was like more spread out than the other. So, um, but still, that's what it was. So now we can start seeing maybe if we can get a unification up there at the heavyweight division, and Naoya Inoue is gonna fight, and like my man Bam Bam. Thank you once again for being there, and showing love to the channel and backing me up and putting some dates up there like the 14th and everything as well, so that the viewers and the fight fans, can catch these fights and where they can catch these fights. And my man Bam Bam came through, what I'm saying? Like he always do, and he was on point with that today. So thank you, Bam. And to everyone that came into the stream, please, thank you. I want to thank you for all your likes, for your support, for also putting up with these trolls in the channel. Some days we're gonna get days like this, but here at Round One Sports Talk, we can come together and have boxing conversations. You know, and and I always promise to take out every point of view and to put it on the table, give you the facts. You have at it. You tell me what you think. I'm tell you. I'll give you dates and times, and if it is what it is, I'm gonna tell you. You're right. It is what it was. What it was. I have no problem if you say something and say, "Hey, Edwin, this happened with this and this," and I go look and I come back the other day. As a matter of fact, maybe like less than 3 weeks ago or something like that, right? I was talking about Donaire and the fight with Naoya Inoue, and for some reason I thought maybe in Lost in Translation that he was a 3 division, but I guess he was a 4. I think that the announcer one time, I don't see, because I'm starting to get bothered by that, right? Because at the time, I thought that the announcer misspoke and gave him the 4 division credit when he didn't win it. He actually lost up there. He never like secured the belt. Then I went back and it was like, nah, he was already a 4 division world champion. I was like, wow, how did I get that wrong? So, and then I told the dude, I was like, nah, I'm pretty sure. So, and then I text him back and I gave him credit and I said, nah, I think you were right. I got no problem being corrected. I'm an approachable person. I know how to have a conversation. What do you think? I'm going to get butt hurt because I was wrong? No. Shit. If I knew everything about fucking boxing, like I know a lot, right? But I'm pretty sure I would be sitting next to Stephen A. Smith. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, treat me like a human, not like a robot. Know that at least I got character. I got charisma. You know what I'm saying? At least we come here, we talk, we have fun, and you know what I'm saying? I hope I make it interesting for you, you know? And know that this is all I'm trying to do is at least kill some time with us and talk about the shit that we love. What's so bad about that? Right? You guys have been watching me every step of the way. I was just a guy that had a boxing channel, and I went and got my press license and I got my diploma. I took my diploma down. It's over here. I felt like maybe what if somebody's reading or copy? I don't know. There's some sick people in the world. So and then I got my press pass and started interviewing fighters. You guys saw me. I was just a man with a dream. Bought a plane ticket, went to a fight, and before I knew it, I was standing next to the fighter. You guys saw it just like I did. I'm not making myself be anything I'm not. You guys know exact everything, every step I've made on this channel. It's there. You guys seen it. When I got the belts, everything, the unwrapping of them, I built this shit with you guys. You know what I mean? So I just hope to be the best I can. And sometimes I'll admit I'll get lazy, but then I get reminded by some of my takes. And some of my quick answers and shit, and I'm just like, no, that wasn't like that. That was like this. And Edwin, maybe you have your fucking you've had too much boxing in your head on those days or something, those nights, and you may have overspoke or said something too fast on one day and shit. And I wish I could take it back, but I have no shame in this. I don't even go back and erase them or fix the videos. Nah. All right, I said it. I said it. You can call me out on it if you want to. I'm not gonna run from it or hide from it. Not gonna do any of that shit because I accept all challenges. I guess you must not know me. You know, I don't shy away from shit. If it's right, it's right, and if I was wrong, I was wrong. That's it, cut and dry. I learned to let my yeses be my yeses and my no's be my no's. And with that, I leave you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. Please give this video a like, smash that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, click them notification icons, and um, on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. Peace.